All right, happy New Year. Welcome into 2025, the season premiere of the Power Hour. I'm Steve, along with the urban sensation C Red. How you doing, Red?
What's going
Rachel and
on?
Rion will be joining us a little bit later on. Hopefully, both of them are dealing with some stuff, so we'll see them later. Hopefully, uh, tonight our season premiere is going a little different than it has in the past. Um, they told me not to do this. They said, "Don't do this." They said, "Don't have these guys as guests." And when I mean they, I mean Rocket Pro Wrestling and the ownership and the management there. They said very clearly this is not a subject we want to explore. Now, this happened in November. So I've been getting questioned about it on direct messages and social media for 3 months now. And I'm quite honestly, I'm fucking tired of answering these questions because I don't know shit. Well, tonight we're all going to know shit because tonight our special guests are the notorious faction, as I've been told, the Freebirds. Tristan Hayze and Buddy Roberts Jr. Gentlemen, welcome to the Power Hour. Thanks for taking time out of your schedule in what is a very unconventional request on my part.
Appreciate you guys having us. It's gonna be nice to actually clear the air a bit here. Red, I know you've known me a very long time, so probably none of this comes as a surprise to you. Steve, I don't know how long you've known of me and my tag partner Bad Street over here.
I have been aware of you guys for a great many years. We just our paths have only crossed a couple of times here and there, but now they're the crosshairs are right here, and we're right up close and personal. I suppose it was inevitable. I mean, you guys are a pretty huge entity in the scene, so I'm happy that you're here because it means it means you want to be here and you've got things to say. Um, the reason why you're here is we're talking about that fateful show in November, Harvest Havoc. Uh, Rocket Pro has disavowed any knowledge, and the only people that really saw what happened are the people that were there that night, both the fans and the locker room. But nobody has talked about this thing. Nobody has talked about the fact that the police were there. Nobody has talked about the fact that they shut the show down for almost an hour, getting order restored. I've even had people that are longtime workers in this business, very reputable ones. I'm not gonna drop names because there's no need for that, but were messaging me the day after going, brother, what happened in Joliet? And when I told them, they're like, is this real or is this just a work? And I'm like, dude, all I know is the place went fucking batshit crazy for almost an hour. The police were there, and there was a fracas involving the Freebirds and Youth Gone Wild. So all I know is that. Now, obviously, those that follow professional wrestling locally know that the history between Youth Gone Wild and the Freebirds, there has been many things in many other places. I'm not speaking names of other companies, but you've been around and you guys have crossed paths before. So I guess my first question to you, Tristan or Buddy, either of you answer this. What occurred previously that led us to that night in November?
There's Man, I could take up the entire length of your podcast to tell you about that, but
Well, we can't really talk
to
about what happened without setting the tone for why it happened. And I have known Youth Gone Wild my whole career. I have hated on Youth Gone Wild my whole career. So everybody's talking about them being Rocket Pro guys, and it was an unmitigated attack. But I know who they are and I know what they do, so I don't believe any of it. So I'm hopefully you're going to set the record straight. But before we can talk about what went down, we need to know how we got here, how you got to the point where you interrupted a show as a disguised cameraman at one point, and then what happened in November. So a lot of things have happened, and it didn't start at Rocket Pro. It's been brewing for a long time. So let's talk about that.
yeah, it's been brewing for quite a long time, almost 2 years now. We were we were out. Buddy had taken his leave of absence from the business for quite a while back in 2016. I thought I was done about 2020, 2021 after I did a series of matches with Hardcore Craig, which ended with us actually getting to work with our kids. which
We were
was
there that night. We called that match. I remember that very well. One of the coolest things I've ever fucking seen. That match went on 3 times as long as any other match, and it needed to because it was so fucking awesome.
yeah. If either one of you remember, at the end of that match, my I was left laid out by my own son, and
Yes.
to me, I've always had very few dreams about professional wrestling, and I've accomplished pretty much every last one of them. So with a moment like that, I figured, you know what? That's a good note to go out on. Screw it. I'm done. And I was happy, you know. Buddy and I started doing some shows where we would show up, and we were asked to show up, just to hang out, talk with some of the younger guys, you know, told, hey, bring your gimmicks. You guys could have a table, maybe sell some stuff, make a little extra money. And that's what we did. We were showing up at companies, we were hanging out, we were selling shills, we were, talking with some of the young guys, giving them advice and everything. One thing led to another, and it seemed like everywhere we went, Youth Gone Wild was there. Never thought much of it. We're friends with them, and the friendship got bigger over time. And over time, as friendships do, trust gets bigger. Well, one day we did a show where they asked us to show up and bring as much of our memorabilia as we could to put on display and everything. And we did just that. I brought my stuff. Buddy brought a bunch of his stuff, including his father's Hall of Fame stuff. That night afterwards, we're out at the bar. We're enjoying some libations, and one thing led to another. When we went to leave, car was broken into. A lot of stuff was missing.
I heard about that. That was a very very strong subject around the industry for quite a while. The
Quite a
theft
while.
has endeared. Yes, I remember the stories very well.
It went as far as people even in New York reaching out to us to ask what had happened, what had been taken, and this and that. Most of the stuff was recovered, except for a few very serious things, which would be the leather cuts that for years we wore as the Freebirds, and the Hall of Fame rings. Buddy, as you could see at any point in time, if you want, you can go on WWE Network and see back in 2016. There he was on the Hall of Fame, uh, accepting on behalf of his father and the Freebirds. That's not a fake thing. That's a real thing. It's
Right.
there. It's proof. You know, and those Hall of Fame rings mean just as much to us as the leather vests do. And that stuff turned up missing. So
So the theft happened. That situation occurred, and you guys searched high and low for these items. And I remember seeing Creed and Heisman wearing these things going, my God, do they have those big of balls where they committed a felony and are wearing it proudly? I mean, that stuff is valuable stuff. I mean, WWE Hall of Fame rings and ring worn gear that has histories to it. You can sell that and make a pretty penny, but they're not selling it. They're showcasing it and rocking around like they're the cocks of the walk. That's a slap in
yeah,
the face, right?
that Cox is something. C
So we
Red
had that.
knows that
Yeah,
from me stealing his shoes at shows in the past. He knows that when something like that happens, you should probably look to the closest person to you, because that's usually who's taking your shit.
yeah. So we had the thievery that happened, and then there was an altercation in Indiana that I have heard a great many stories about. Take us back to that situation.
Depends on which one you're asking about specifically.
Well, there was one that had a very crafty veteran very pissed off at the end of the evening, and there was a lot of moving parts that we heard a great many stories about.
I believe you're probably talking about a what would be declared as a an unsanctioned street fight
That
that
that's more or less, yes. That's where we're kind of going with it.
ended with quite a bit of blood, quite a few people hurt, quite a few people upset. Buddy,
Lots
why
of
don't you talk
collateral
about that
damage.
one instead of looking pretty, bud?
Yeah, lots of collateral damage in that match from the rumors I've heard. Now they're just rumors. I can't confirm any of it. I was not there. If you were there, you know about it, but I wasn't. So
Yeah.
you had that. So the bad blood is there. They've stolen your shit. You guys have had very, very difficult matches in which everybody left it all on the table.
Oh,
So
we've chased them across state lines. It's more than just physical. It's ruined friendships. It's for lack of a better term, it's caused poor judgment, you know, which is what leads us to Rocket Pro.
so
I'm
let
not
me
going to act like
yeah,
well, give me a second. I'm not going to act like I don't have friends there. I'm
right.
not going to act like I haven't been there before the night I was a cameraman. I've hung out there. I've come to see shows. I've come to see friends. I've enjoyed it. I was there when you guys did your last Star Wars show. You know,
Yep.
I like the product. I like what's going on there. I've met with the Shelleys. I've been to their home. I'm not currently welcome there, which sucks because they are very good people.
100%.
Uh, when Buddy and I decided that we were going to follow Youth Gone Wild there, we did so knowing that we were risking certain things like this, like friendships and business partnerships, or at least the
Yeah,
possibility of them.
I'd
You know,
like to add the fact in that, like, speaking for myself, I'm not like accepting wrestling bookings. I'm not a contracted wrestler. Um, with some of the things that were said, like I don't even like repeating them. Tristan, you're welcome to touch on them, but like Tom Heisman has crossed the line. Um, so at this point, it's kind of like the phrase "anytime, any place." Uh, we're gonna show up and we're gonna show out, regardless on if we're signed or not. Um, yeah, this is just fun to us at this point. Like we're pissed off. We're gonna, beat the shit out of them as much as we can. Doesn't matter if it's at a Rocket Pro show. It doesn't matter if it's at a barbecue, at a movie theater. Um, we're gonna find out where they are, and when they're not expecting it, we're just gonna beat the shit out of them, basically.
An eye for an eye, as it were, is what I'm hearing there. So now,
Yeah,
yeah, you have this situation. Speaking of movie theaters, there was an altercation at one of the Rocket Pro screenings. Take us back to that moment in time, because that was that happened so fast and confused and horrified so many of the theater workers and people that were there just to watch the movies. Take us back to that moment in time. That was kind of a hit and run situation that I guess really didn't go quite the way you wanted to, maybe.
uh, no, I'd say it went exactly the way I wanted to.
yeah. Can I just touch base real quick? I mean, it basically started off by just me getting a text from Tristan. He's like, "Hey, man, Tom and Tom's gonna be at this movie theater, and uh, I kind of got an idea." And I was like, "Go ahead and explain. Let's talk." Like, I mean, at that point, I don't think we've had connected in quite a while before that.
You know, it's just one of those things. It's as simple as if you act like you belong, people are going to treat you like you belong. Just walk right in the door, walk right into one of the theaters. People don't question you that much.
They certainly didn't question you that night because it was
No.
it was a shock to everybody that all
No.
that went down.
By the reaction of the people standing around and the people scattering once we once we hit Tom Heisman and Flywheel from behind, yeah,
There was
you
a
could
lot
see
of
the
scattering that
surprise.
night. Yeah, you're right about that. Being an eyewitness to that situation, it was something you never thought you'd see when you were going for a night at the movies. But there we were.
Yeah.
Now,
Well,
go ahead.
when it comes to it, man, there's a pound of flesh that's owed here, and we're gonna find a way to get it, whether it's at Rocket Pro or somewhere else. It's like he said, we're not taking bookings right now. we've been together since 2011. You know, we're a lot closer to the end than we are to the beginning. I'm a lot older right now. You know, I'm not in the best shape that I've ever been in, but I can still fight. I can damn sure still fight, and that's what I'm going to keep doing. And when we showed up at the last show, or I'm sorry, back at the show in November, and we jumped the rail and got the ring, things didn't go exactly the way we wanted them to.
Right.
We never intended for somebody to get hurt. All right. We're not the ones that put our hands on Miss Shelley, but it is in a way our fault because we brought that chaos on Rocket Pro. We brought that chaos to that show. So for that, I personally apologize, but we still haven't been able to apologize to the Shelleys themselves or to Michelle herself. And that's something that means a lot to both me and Buddy.
Yeah, to be honest, like it was kind of like just like what you call a hit and run. Like we showed up, we disrupted, you know, the scumbag armies match. We ran in the ring, we brawled a little bit, and then what happened is, you know, there was
We had a
basically a
hell of a lot
collision.
of fun throwing their merchandise out to the crowd for free.
We saw
There,
that.
there's a collision, and then like, you know, we got kicked out, and then like honestly, like I was just excited. I was like, man, that was awesome. Like that was fun. Just a good brawl and then dip out. You know, we're just trying to prove a point, you know, like the the bad blood between us and the scumbag army, Tom Heisman, Matt Creed, it's not over with.
Hell, there's bad blood now between Buddy and the guardrail from that night. So, you know, that'll never be over.
Right.
Just like Buddy and the guardrail.
The problem is Rocket Pro banned the footage. I mean, when that happened, we had to abandon commentary because it was kind of an all hands on deck. You know, obviously Shelly's my tag team partner, so I was up there trying to help her get out of the way. We were trying to get her to safety. And then the locker room cleared out, and it was one of the most uncomfortable fracases that people have ever seen. And
Red's known me almost 20 years. He was right there in my face with his hand against my chest, asking me what the hell I'm doing. You know, and I know this man. I love this man to death. I've never seen him so angry at me before, and that's something that sucks. Like that when you have family in this business and people that you love, and you see them disappointed, and you see that look in their eyes, man, that hurts. I don't know if you've ever seen that before, and Red, I haven't told you that, but that sucks, man. That hurts a lot because I saw how disappointed you were.
Let me stop you there, Tristan. You and Buddy, I've known for years. We've known each other. We've shared locker rooms with each other. Me and you, we go back when we were another version of the Freebirds. So, I mean, let's be honest. We've rode up and down the roads. We've had the police called on us together. I mean, shit. So, if anybody understands Get Back, it's me and you. If anybody understand On Site, it's on. I get it. That night, somebody completely innocent got hurt. So it wasn't disappointment, but my thought training was, Tristan, what the fuck? Like, now this shit is going too far when somebody innocent is getting hurt. Because this time it was Shelly. What if it's the little 7-year-old in the front row? You see what I'm saying? So I wasn't disappointed in you and Buddy. But I just needed y'all to think that, okay, I get it. Fuck them. Fuck the scumbag army. Fuck them. But I need y'all, you know how we do, Tristan. There is a meticulous, there is a plan, and we follow it to the T. And you had a plan, and you started to follow, but once shit went south, shit should have you know.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
But
you're not wrong, and that's why when it went south, that's why we immediately just threw our hands up and let it be. And that's one of the other things that we got to talk about. As you said earlier, they won't show the footage.
Won't show it.
They cut it out. They won't show it on YouTube. They won't give it to anybody. There were other fans there that recorded it multiple times. I've seen the footage. And the one thing that is very clear from that footage is yes, it may have been our fault that this whole thing happened, but myself, Buddy, neither one of us ever laid a hand on her. Miss Shelley was plowed down by Tom Heisman herself.
100%.
Right? He's the one that did that shit, not us. We're still
No.
willing to apologize for it. We're taking the heat for it. We're not welcome there. We're not welcome in Joliet. I get it. I've heard Youth Gone Wild's been suspended, but we're the one that's taking the real heat here.
You're banned. I mean, that's the long and the short of it. Rocket
Yeah,
Pro
but-
Wrestling, the promotion running at St. Joe's Park have, the authorities involved. I mean, there was a police presence after the fracas ended. I mean, the police kind of stayed outside the rest of the show to keep everybody out and in, and I've never seen that before.
Yeah. Try being me, man. That's a day in the life. I'm used to being
I
blacklisted.
kind of just wanted to just apologize on both of our behalves as far as like taking away from the show when we're not on the show. You know what I mean? Like, no disrespect to anybody there as far as like the talent that's there, because Rocket Road certainly has some amazing talent, and at no point what did we purposely try to take away from everybody else's time on that show. It just emotions, like it just happened. I don't even like, I kind of just blacked out when I jumped over that rail, and obviously the railing collapsed and I just slid in the ring and just did what it just felt right. It just felt natural to run in there and, throw some punches at Tom Heisman. But I do apologize as far as like disrupting the show, especially us not being a part of the show.
You keep taking accountability, and that is admirable, because in this business, in this world, taking accountability for one's actions is not something that is done with great regularity. Here's my point to you, and here's why nobody wants my opinion, and everybody's been warning me all week. Steve, why are you doing this? Steve, don't do it. I had a whole soliloquy on social media from our champion, Steve Michaels, about why this is a bad idea. Why am I giving voice to these people that ruined the show? I say this about that, and this will not be a popular opinion, but this is how I see it now that all the facts have been lined up before us. The blame falls squarely on the people that created the situation, the people that stole the shit, the people that started this whole damn war that escalated to what it did in November. So, yes, maybe you could have conducted yourselves differently at Harvest Havoc, but in the heat of the moment, when everything is on the line, you're reacting with instinct, and that's who you guys are. Can't fault anybody for acting on instinct. Tom Heisman, Matt Creed, Scumbag Army created this situation in my eyes. So if any message happens tonight, and it won't be good for Damien Saint, our general manager, it might not even go well for our majority owner, Nuke, now that he's got control of the company, or it might not even be good for that little asshat, Maximus Orion, the entitled child that is co-owner. The point is, I don't think you're the villains here. I think you might be more victim than anybody involved. And the fact that you've been banned for defending yourself and wanting to get your pound of flesh is insane. Did things go too far in November? Perhaps. I mean, the show was interrupted, chaos ensued, people got hurt. Yes, that's all very regrettable. But the point of the matter is, there's one doorstep to drop this blame. And it's somebody that I have been blaming for the 14 years that I've been doing this shit. They are not good people in the Scumbag Army. They are manipulative, and they have their own narrative that never evens up with anywhere they work. So I'm on your side, fellas. I know you don't know me from Adam, and I know we haven't run up and down the road like you and Red. And although the Rocket Pro people don't want this to be the opinion, and I believe that's why they have neutered the footage. Because if people saw what really happened and people heard what really happened, and when people hear your story tonight, I don't know how they cannot realize that Tom Heisman has done what Tom Heisman always does.
Oh, it's not just Tom Heisman. It's Matt Creed. It's Flywheel.
It's the scumbag army. You're 100% right.
The reason that Rocket Pro doesn't want to show that is because it shows who the true blame lays on.
100%.
Right? It's not like I like I said before, it's not like I haven't been around. I've worked behind the scenes and I've helped out and I've developed friendships over there, you know?
Right.
I probably could have very easily said, "Hey man, these guys got our shit. Give us a chance to get it back. You know, maybe work with us." And sometimes that younger version of me that, you know, Red and Trauma and Willie used to try to beat out of me, he just comes back. And he comes back with a vengeance, and hell comes with him. And that's the problem. Because I also have other people like Buddy to call on that says, "Hey, look, there's our leather vests. They're wearing them to the ring. Hey, there's our Hall of Fame rings. They're wearing them on chains around our necks. Let's go get our shit." And that's the other thing, like Red told me. He taught me other things too. And one of those is let's ride. Let's roll. Let's get our shit back. And that's what we did that night. You got to remember, we might not be the bad guys in this situation, but we're not good guys either all the time. We're not cowboys that wear white hats. We're not always innocent, and we're not gonna be. We get our hands on Youth Gone Wild. We get our hands on Flywheel. There's gonna be hell to pay, and people are gonna be hurt. And this time, it's not gonna be one of the Shellys. But we do apologize about that. That we didn't put a hand on that woman, and we never would. But it is our fault for creating the situation that night.
What a crazy situation that was. You're in the center of the hurricane. You're in the eye of it. When that thing started to go sideways, what was in your mind? I mean, where were you at mentally? Because that thing exploded in a way that the entire roster of Rocket Pro, plus security, plus wait staff, plus camera people. I mean, everybody was sent into that ring to stop it. I've never seen that many people in a pull apart in my life, especially a pull apart that led to a police situation. What was going through your minds as it was happening?
I would like to speak for myself. I don't know if anybody else has ever had this like experience, but I do get it sometimes when, you know, I'm extremely upset, right? I just kind of like black out, right? So, you know, I don't know what it is. I clearly remember us being in the crowd, handing out the Youth Gone Wild merchandise. But as soon as I jumped that guardrail and slid in that ring, and I saw Tom Heisman, I just kind of blacked out. It's like, it just, I don't know. I just lost control and just wanted to beat the hell out of him.
Rage took over.
And then all of a sudden, you know, we're getting kicked. Yeah, I mean, honestly, like I didn't see anybody else for the most part besides Tom Heisman, Matt Creed.
Me, it's gonna sound a little weird, but until I realized Michelle got knocked down, I mean, I kind of get off on the whole thing. So me, it's someplace I've been before, maybe not on that scale, but I'm kind of used to situations like that because I've created quite a few over the years.
Yeah, I mean that's your history and your reputation speak for themselves. Joining us here on the show now is
Red's been there himself on several occasions, even including nights where there were so many of us in the ring that the ring bowed and was filled with beer dripping from the ceiling. We create situations. All right. Things happen when I see the we got paid. That's all that matters. We got our payday that night.
It's organic, right? It just feels it just feels right. Like you don't always have to do what everybody else is doing. you just go by what you feel, you know.
Did he say it was orgasmic?
It might have been a little bit of both. I think
Potentially.
organic was what he meant, but hey, it might have been orgasmic. I mean, hey, he doesn't remember it, so it must have been pretty good.
It was, but it was both. It felt good.
Cactus Rack, you have joined us. Welcome. Happy New Year to you. You've been listening for a while. What do you make of this situation now that you've heard a little bit about what went down, something that Rocket Pro wouldn't let anybody talk about until tonight?
I agree with you 100%. It's always the scumbag army. It's always Tom Heisman. And obviously, I agree they're not showing the footage because it will make it very clear that the people they're trying to blame are not the people that are at fault here.
And that's coming from a person that'll kick somebody's ass in roller derby, that's for sure. So Cactus Rack is formidable to say the least. Where do you go?
That's been something I've been kind of confused about, by the way. I've noticed it's not the Shelleys that are talking about it. It's other people within the company that are talking about it. So my question personally is, who exactly within Rocket Pro doesn't want this footage shown?
Mostly, I mean, the biggest.
Besides the scumbag army.
Yeah, I'm sure they don't want it. That's for sure. The biggest proponent to having the footage removed, general manager Damien Saint. He is, he walked around after the show was over, telling everybody, "Do not acknowledge what happened." We were pulled aside as the intermission was happening, and he pulled me aside and says, "Steve, you don't mention this on commentary. You don't talk about it on your show. You don't do this. You don't do that. We are not having an opinion on this. We are above these things," says the man that's running a band of idiots called The Undeniable. He's the general manager and he has his own gang, and he's telling me not to talk about something that he's largely responsible for because, obviously if he did his job, maybe it wouldn't have got to this point. Maybe he would have said, okay, they want to fight. Obviously they've come in before. Let's have a match and let's do this right in the ring and make some money from it. But no, that's not Damien Saint. He's all about himself. He's not about the company. Also, I don't think the Shelley.
Damien Saint needs to learn one main thing in life. The internet is undefeated. I personally, I know I have footage of what happened because I reached out to somebody who was filming that night who put it online themselves. I'm sure there are other people who filmed and took pictures that night. It's a pro wrestling show. People live on their phones nowadays. It's gonna exist. So if we want to show somebody what happened, we could very easily come back on your show another time and show them the footage. It's not that big of a deal.
No, and it's just it's funny that they went to this much trouble to keep this footage hidden. It doesn't make any sense, and that's why I questioned it. Now, I'm not, I don't like to sit here and bite the hand that feeds. I've had an incredible run at Rocket Pro. It's a great place to be. They've taken great care of me the years that I've been there, but right is right. And, at this point, knowing what I saw and knowing what I know now, that's why I wanted you here, because I wanted to hear the side of the story that I didn't know. Because there's always two sides, and the person that's the loudest usually makes his point, and that's where you go. But there's two sides to every story. And as it would have, as fortune would favor, there was a side, and it makes a lot of sense, and the footage lines up with what you have told us here tonight for sure.
Well, at the end of the day, it's as simple right now for us as there are 2 Hall of Fame rings out there that say Freebirds on them that aren't on our fingers. There's 2 leather vests out there that say Bad Street with our names on them and memorial patches for Buddy Roberts Sr. and Terry Bam Bam Gordy that we don't get to wear on our backs. And those are 2 things that we find very precious to us.
Sure.
Very precious. Again, at any point in time, it's not like these things aren't real to us. You can go back over the course of over a decade and see us wearing these to the ring. You can go back to Peacock and go on the WWE Network and watch Buddy himself up there on stage at the Hall of Fame accepting for the Freebirds. It's not fake. It's not a joke. These are things that mean the world to us, and we're going to find a way to get them back. whether it's at Rocket Pro or somebody else.
So where do we go from here? Where does this go? I mean, you're banned from Rocket Pro, but a ban is only as good as those that enforce it. I know there'll be, from what I hear, there's going to be a police presence at Joliet. I mean, obviously, you're not anything to do with this show, nor are the Youth Gone Wild, because they're suspended as well. But how do we get this to a point where we can have you get the opportunity to get these possessions of yours back? I mean, where do we go from here? Do you try to appeal to Rocket Pro as a vehicle? Do you just simply do something else? What's on your mind as far as how you're going to go from here now that you're banned, now that you can't be there?
That's the beauty of the world that we live in. It doesn't have to happen at Rocket Pro.
Yeah.
Could have very well. As far as where and when it happens, anywhere. Youth Gone Wild there, we're going to take our shot. But as far as Rocket Pro goes, the only thing that matters to us right now when it comes to Rocket Pro is being able to apologize face to face to the Shelleys for what happened. That's it.
Well, after tonight, I don't know I'll have any sphere of influence at all at Rocket Pro, but I certainly know Shelly pretty well, and I've tag teamed with her. She and I have done some magical things, and I'm gonna put out a call. I'm gonna at least communicate and say, watch the show, Shelly. You're gonna hear things that you don't know. You're gonna hear things that nobody knew until tonight, and let that guide you into where we go next. Because I feel like, all this has gone down, and, here on a shitty little podcast, no offense, is where you get to tell your story. You know what I mean, Red? This is a story that needs to be told in front of a bigger audience than the people that will watch this show later on tonight and tomorrow. I'm glad that I got to hear it here. I mean, I'm proud to have you guys on. I mean, who wouldn't be proud to have the Freebirds on a podcast at all, let alone for this purpose? But I
Probably
feel
a lot of people. Probably a lot of people.
well, I don't know about that. History, records everything that happens, from what happened in WWE with that Hall of Fame acceptance to all the great matches and all the great things you've accomplished and all the hell you've raised over the years. I mean, Bad Street, there's a connotation there, that when you hear that, and when we see the name Freebirds, it invokes very strong reactions. It's not like something, it's a name in this industry that is one of the most recognizable legacies of all. And it's a shame that there's an opportunity for a legacy to return to take what's theirs. And I'm befuddled at the people in charge that aren't looking at this as something that could be turned into a spectacle.
Well, when it comes to Freebirds, spectacle is the biggest thing that we know.
Red, what sense do you make of this? I mean, I know you've told me, Steve, why are you question, the method behind this, but now you've heard everything they've said. Does that change your opinion of that night?
That night, first of all, I'm tired of people saying that the night was ruined. Up to that point, we had great matches. Once everything calmed down and we got things back in order, we continued to have a great show. Right or wrong?
100%.
So,
fantastic show.
So that's my issue, with that. I'm not gonna say, when I asked you why are you doing this, was I against you? Because I knew the story. I didn't know. I knew the car was broke because I knew the show that they went to. I knew the show that they were at, and they were asked to come, and because understand,
you were one of the first people to reach out when stuff was stolen.
Right. People love history, whether we acknowledge it or not, right? We love it. And if we can get up and close and personal with it, we can.
Except when it comes to Tom Brady.
Hey, don't fuck with Brady. When, just for me, this is just Red. When I first met Buddy, to stand next to him was an honor. I never got to meet his father. I idolized his father. But to stand next to him, then watch him perform, I was blown away. I was like, he is the son of the great Buddy Rhymes. My respect level went through the roof. So now, to know both of them on a personal fucking level and know that they're out there to have fun, meet people, let people hold the vest, let people hold the ring, sign autographs there, and to go out and eat afterwards. Think about it. That shit that we do on a regular basis after a show. What do? We pack up. All right, we going here. All right, let's go here. And we go out and we fucking eat, right?
Right.
Who's the fucking think that somebody is that fucking of an asshole to wait and break in and steal not some stuff, steal 99% of the shit, and none of it belongs to you. Now, here's my thing, and I did contact,
and that's the boys stealing from the boys too. It makes it so much worse.
That's the fucked up part. We can deal. Now, Tristan made a joke earlier. I don't know if anybody heard it. When he talked about he used to fucking take my shoes and shit. Now I gotta look for my shoes and shit.
Well, there's a difference there.
But it's a difference, but it's not. Because when we came up, you didn't have a problem with pulling a rib on somebody. For people that don't understand, I'm gonna break it down. A rib is a joke. It's a prank, okay? Amongst the boys, okay? And we laugh about it and we joke about it. Okay, thank you. So
thanks for breaking that down.
Hey, you know something? That shit went over somebody's head.
Well, Santino watches this, so I'm glad he's aware now.
Right, because that shit probably. So
don't watch him sing, Red. Don't watch him sing. Can never undo that.
I'm still trying to figure out how that grown ass man got a fucking babysitter. But anyway, turning around, and at least when Tristan would pull his shit, Tristan would say right before we're going on, "Hey, Red, the shoes are in the refrigerator." It's like, oh fuck, okay, grab my shoes, let me get the fuck out of here.
Well, because he knows your feet swell.
Hey,
doing you a favor.
But when it is somebody that you have trusted, you have grown a friendship with, and again, it's not a fucking rib. Your shit is stolen. Your car is vandalized. For what? That's the question that nobody is fucking asking fucking scumbags. Why? What the fuck was the purpose? If these two guys were your so-called fucking friends, why would you fucking go into their car, break into that shit, and steal shit? Why? What's the fucking purpose? There's a difference if, okay, Buddy didn't fucking lock his fucking door. Okay, we're gonna take it and put it in our car, and then we're gonna go in the restaurant, eat with their ass, and we're gonna wait to see what their response is when we all come out. Oh, your shit stole. Ah, okay. Oh, well, we gotta call the police. Hey, before you call the police, we got your shit. That's a fucking rib. To fucking not say shit, to not be anywhere around, and then to brag about it to the point where now you're putting shit on chains wearing fucking vests at fucking shows. Like that shit's not gonna come up. Like nobody in the fucking locker room has either one of their numbers. Like somebody is not gonna fucking call and say, hey, Tristan, guess what? Your vest is at this fucking show. And it's fucking Youth Gone Wild, scumbag army that's got your shit. So I under fucking stand why the fucking Freebirds are fucking pissed. I am fucking understanding why in this business friendship means little to no shit. Because what is the fucking reason that you can look me in my face for years and then take my shit and then have the fucking gall, audacity to fucking walk around with it and not think I'm gonna get your ass, to not think you gonna get got? What the fuck is wrong with you?
And the biggest takeaway from everything he just said is if Buddy would have just locked his goddamn car doors. I tell him every time, I said, lock your car doors.
It's
It's
Buddy's
Indiana,
fault.
man. It's Indiana. Lock your car doors. You can't trust people.
My God.
Well, here's the little luxury, right, of social media, right? So we will always know where Youth Gone Wild is going to be booked at. We know when the Rocket Pro shows events are, obviously, social media. So we're going to get our shit back. How we're going to get it back, that's for us to decide.
Yeah, I mean, listen, it might be at a different show. It might be there. It might be in a parking lot somewhere. It doesn't matter to us where it is. This isn't about, wrestling for Rocket Pro. This isn't about getting out there on it. We've done all that. Ask us. Ask us. We will tell you we've done it. And maybe for Youth Gone Wild, that's what this is all about. Maybe it's because we went around the country. Maybe it's because we've had the offers from the NWA and Japan. Maybe it's because we've gotten to do all the things that we've gotten to do. Maybe Youth Gone Wild's just jealous simply because they're not us. Tough shit, boys. You can try to take our stuff and you can wear it around and you can pretend to be cool and pretend to be us, but you're never going to be us.
And if that's the reason, if it's all about cosplay with them and trying to be these guys, after hearing not only Red's very passionate soliloquy, but all of the things you have brought to the attention that maybe not everybody knows. I mean, how do you ever put that vest on again? I don't. I mean, as far as for them, I mean, how do they wear that stuff to the ring the next time they're anywhere? Because they've basically been called out as a joke and pretenders to the throne. It
They don't care about that.
I don't understand why they wouldn't. I mean, you want respect. That's all they've ever wanted. You're not going to get it doing this.
They don't want respect. They want attention.
Well,
See, that's the one mistake. You think they're stupid. They're not. They're not. Don't ever disrespect your enemies or your opponents by thinking they're stupid. Because that's the biggest mistake you can make. They're not stupid. They obviously got away with this shit for a long time for a reason. But they fucked up because they took our stuff. And we're going to get it back. Buddy, I'm sorry I cut you off.
No, it's all good. Like the model says, and I'm going to keep saying it. Anytime, any place. I mean, Tom Heisman is a guy who has said multiple times, bringing up the situation of my mom and my dad who have passed away. Like he makes it as like a joke. Like you can't say that to me without me wanting to beat the shit out of him. Like I have so much like anger still for Tom Heisman, like just for the comments and me just thinking about some of the things that he said. Like it just, yeah, I don't know. It boils my blood. So
Tom's parents are dead, and you don't see Buddy bringing that up every chance he gets.
No.
Yeah, because I'm a good human being.
Yeah.
Who says shit like that?
Terrible. So
at the end of the day, I guarantee Flywheel is the brains behind all this.
Oh God, if Flywheel's the brains, we're in trouble.
And Matt Creed is such a bitch. He's just a follower. He just goes and does whatever they say and just toes the line behind them.
This is a lot of information. I mean, I was hoping that I would walk away with a better understanding, but now I'm walking away with something that I wasn't expecting. I'm walking away with a desire to see that match, that situation where Youth Gone Wild's on one side, the Freebirds are on the other, and there are no rules and there are no obstacles, and it's just four men with vendettas aplenty doing what they have to do to make their point, and in your case, doing what you have to do to get your shit back. I feel like this story needs an ending, and we need one soon.
It's gonna get one, but I hate to disappoint you. Again, we're not looking for contracts, and we're not looking for matches. We're just looking for a fight. We're just looking to get our shit back. That's it. You know?
Pretty basic. It makes a lot of sense, and I don't think at this point anybody can fault you for what went down. And apologizing about what happened to Shelley, I think, is a pretty cool thing. You're taking accountability for your actions, even though you were kind of pushed and coerced based on the past. You're still owning your responsibility in this, and I think that's a pretty cool thing, because not especially in the days of internet warriors, nobody wants to be accountable for a damn thing. So kudos for you guys to representing your brand name to the highest level by saying, yeah, that probably shouldn't have happened that way. We will take our role in it. And hopefully Shelley hears this and hears that apology, and maybe things change down the road, because I feel like wrestling in Joliet would only be better if the Freebirds were part of it at some point.
Appreciate that a lot. Appreciate that, Steve.
So now that we've gotten this out of the way and we've talked about the stuff that Rocket Pro doesn't want you to see, we've turned the calendar. It's 2025. What is on the docket, if anything? I know you guys aren't actively really doing much these days, but do you have any big plans for this year? I mean, are there things that you want to do other than beat the shit out of Youth Gone Wild?
Me personally, I'm just continuing some of the projects that I've done. We're coming up on the 1 year anniversary of my first ever book that I released last year. I'm in the process right now of writing 2 more, and I've been working on my own podcast, DTF, Discover the Flow, where we've had a lot of cool people like K. Trevor Wilson from Letterkenny. Ah, there it is. There it is. Bad Batch, the better version of Ladybugs. But but no, we've had people like K. Trevor Wilson from Letterkenny. We've had Jim O'Hare from Parks and Recreation. We had Colin Mockery from whose line is it anyways? And we got a lot of other people coming along too. I don't want to jinx things, but we have a lot of verbal commitments right now. So knock on wood, those will follow through. But that's what I'm doing.
That's amazing. I mean, that's a wide range of topics and guests. I love podcasts like that. Where can people listen to these things?
Spotify, Audible, our iHeartRadio, and Amazon Music.
So it's out there. People can listen to all. I mean, that's a music and television. You're going across. I mean, you're like your own variety show. It's like you're the new Johnny Carson of a new age.
You guys should check out Buddy's new podcast. He has
Talk
one
to us,
where he
buddy.
talks about sex education.
I was gonna say I don't know where this is going, but shut up. Yeah, no, as for me, I just want to be, healthy and continue to be healthy, work out, and travel the world. Last year, I traveled the most that I've ever traveled. I went to Mexico City, went to Arkansas, went to Wisconsin, Milwaukee. I'd like to travel out of the country a couple times this year if I can. And just trying to be healthy. That's all. That's what this life's about. You try to stay healthy and happy.
That's an amazing list of things. And if you had a sex talk podcast, I mean, that might be the cherry on the top.
Anything's possible.
Anything.
That's what it's called. It's called On the Top with Buddy Roberts Jr. Or was
Hey,
it
you get
I'm a
that on
Top?
TikTok. Maybe you go viral. You just never know with these days. Anything can go viral. Red, do you have any final thoughts for the Freebirds before we send them back to Freebird to Bad Street, as it were?
Buddy, you know how much I love you. You know, our friendship has grown tremendously over the years, and the respect I have for you and your family is second to none. I'm proud of you. I've always been proud of you. And I understand this dog in this fight. Never did I think it would get to this point, but I understand. And as Steve stated earlier, it takes a real man to apologize. You did that, even though you didn't physically touch Shelly, but you still apologized for your part. So I would like to think she accepts, and you will get your pound of flesh someday. Tristan,
Uh-oh.
you're an
The
asshat.
octave changed in his voice.
You're an asshat.
Oh, well, there we go.
I am
But-
an asset. Thank you.
But you're my asshat. For 20 years, we have done it all, seen it all. Again, had the police called on us, and we didn't do shit. Really. When we started our Freebird journey, I looked at you crazy as shit. And I never realized that in your head, you saw something bigger. You had a bigger dream. And then you met Buddy, and then this dream became reality. And I was happy for you. You were living the dream that we all knew you could live, right? And then, of course, you know, years passed and we got older and shit happened. And when you told me you were hanging up the boots, I was kind of taken back because I kept saying, how are you hanging up your boots before I hang up mine? I couldn't understand that. But I respected it. As your friend and as your brother, I respect it. So when this incident took place, I was, again, you could tell from my message, I was hurt. Two people that I cared about were victimized. And coming from a place, especially right now, where I just lost two people that I care about that were victims, I have no fucking sympathy whatsoever for perpetrators. None. I don't give a fuck who you are. So as I told Buddy, you're gonna get your pound of flesh. I don't know when, I don't know where. I just want to be there.
Yeah.
I thought I would feel, and I'm not gonna lie, I did feel some relief when y'all took the fucking clippers and cut Flyweir's nasty ass stinking ponytail. I was on commentary losing my shit.
It's true.
I still got that ponytail.
I'm not I'm not satisfied.
Nope.
And if I'm not satisfied, then I damn sure know that neither one of you are not satisfied.
Not
So-
even close.
Whether it is March, whether it is June, whether it is a December snowstorm, December 31st, 2025, in a parking lot in Downers Grove, I don't give a fuck.
In a Walmart parking lot. That would be cool.
I will be there to watch.
Red, you don't shop at Walmart.
Bullshit, I don't.
We're gonna make it in the parking lot of a Waffle House so we can all eat afterwards.
Oh, now you're talking my language. That boy.
I don't give a
That-
fuck
that
where.
fills up an appetite.
I just want to see Heisman and Creed on their knees begging for the fucking beating to stop. I don't give a fuck that the rings have been given back. I don't give a fuck that they've handed you the fucking vest dry cleaned and fucking pressed. I don't give a fuck. I want you to beat their ass till they can no longer take it and beg you to stop. And I want you to continue for another fucking 20 minutes till they fucking cease to fucking exist.
Wow, we don't want to murder here, Red, do we?
I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck because at this point, you have taken my friends,
You keep that 9 in the box.
my friends. You have lied. Again, nobody is looking at this, the big picture. You have lied to them. We're your friends. We're your bros. We're going to travel up and down the road. We're going to, work for this company and we're going to wrestle each other. The lies that have fucking been built. And maybe in the beginning there weren't lies. Maybe it wasn't. But at what point, again, what was the fucking reason? Are you mad that the Freebirds are getting offers from other companies when they're probably on their way to doing other shit in life? Are you mad that the name Freebirds is synonymous and you can ask anybody and they're going to tell you either one or two things, right? Pro wrestling or Leonard Skinner. And I'm just being honest. You say you've gone wild, shit. That's the motherfuckers outside my goddamn door. I don't know who the fuck you talking about. The average person isn't going to know who the fuck you're talking about.
And Sebastian Bach got a little
That is
old.
not even a creative tag team name. I've known 3 Youth Gone Wilds in the 25 years I've been in the business.
So, what was the fucking reason? And that's the one thing with a fucking blood fucking pool mask. I want Tom Heisman at least to have the nuts to say what the fucking reason is. Because these two at least deserve to know that much. All of this bullshit, let's be honest. I'm sure we would have had a season premiere tonight. But we wouldn't be at this moment if it wasn't for Tom Heisman and Matt Creed. the shit that happened in November would have never happened. Shelly would have never fucking got hurt if it wasn't for Matt Creed, Tom Heisman, and we can't forget Rat Flywheel.
Yeah, he's not even worth the fucking J at this point.
Oh, they shaved the J off.
Yeah, the J is gone. He got no juice. You know, I'll take it one step further, Red. I actually think that at this point, Tom and Matt and Rat screwed themselves and they don't even know it, because eventually the Freebirds are going to do what the Freebirds do. And eventually they are going to fall, and they're going to fall hard. And as I have suspected for a great many years, the end of Tom Heisman and Matt Creed will be Tom Heisman and Matt Creed. And the poetic justice is there, and it's sweet for me. They will never be on this show again. I have no use for them. They're dead to me. But they brought me the Freebirds for our season premiere of our last season. So as much as I hate them, they allowed us this opportunity to sit down with these two superstars and reminisce and talk about some shit that was being, completely withheld from everybody. And that's very interesting. And that I appreciate.
Well, like I said before, the internet's undefeated. If you really want to know the answers, they're out there. All you got to do is look just a little harder than normal.
Tristan and Buddy, we appreciate your time and we appreciate your truth so much tonight. I hope later on this year, when there's a resolution, no pun intended, that you will come back so we can celebrate the return of your jackets and rings. Our photo guy wasn't here tonight, so I couldn't show the photos of the rings and the jackets because I'm technologically inept. But we all know they're there. We all watch WWE. We all love Buddy Roberts. I mean, anybody that's in this business has loved that man and what he did at some point. We were all watching that Hall of Fame. We remember it very well. And the fact that you lost the rings are no longer with you and your jackets are no longer with you is a fucking tragedy. But sometimes out of tragedy comes triumph. And for me, 2025 is the year the Freebirds came back and collected their birthright and retook what was theirs. And I'm glad the journey started here, my friends. Thank you so much.
I appreciate you having us.
Hey.
And go ahead, bud.
No, go ahead. It's loud as fuck over here, so I can barely hear. But yeah, no, hey, Red, I just wanted to say I appreciate the kind words. You got me more hyped than I have been as far as like wanting to go see Tom Heisman next week and beating the shit out of them, like until they can fucking barely walk. So I appreciate that, Red.
All right.
Cactus, I love the glasses. Steve, I appreciate you bringing us on. And Red, hey man, do you remember that one time with the whipped cream, the pitching wedge, and the midget stripper when we were all?
And he's gone. And Tristan Hayze is gone in a flash of light. We may never know about the midget stripper. Buddy, thank you for everything you do. I hope we see you again soon. You're an absolute delight and you're a superhero. Thank you so much.
I appreciate it having me, guys. Take care.
That is Buddy Roberts Jr. We had Tristan Hayze. Cactus, Jesus Christ. How does your engaged self take in all of this stuff? You have no love lost for Tom Heisman and Matt Creed. And I think now people see your point.
I'm not easily surprised, so I'm not surprised here in any way, shape, or form. So, I call it as I see it, and I'm not often wrong. I'm never wrong. And I don't know, maybe I will give Rocket Pro Wrestling the privilege of me attending to see the showdown.
Well, at this point, I would love to buy that ticket. If that comes to pass,
I'm paying for a wedding, so you're going to be buying that ticket. Yes.
I'm fully well aware of my responsibilities in your current engaged state, and we'll talk about that in a minute. For those people that questioned the decision-making process of making this show tonight to start our year. I hope you now understand why it had to be done. And Damien Saint, if that's the end of my job at Rocket Pro, so be it, bud. I got plenty of other things I can do. I've never been under your thumb. I never will be under your thumb. So do your worst. It's at this point, this is it for me. 2025. You know, people have been asking me, Steve, you say it's the final season of the Power Hour. You say this is your last year. I'm not joking. There is a lot going on behind the scenes in my life, and it's far more important than wrestling will ever be. I have enjoyed the ride. I have loved the friendships. I have loved everything I've gotten to do. I have been truly blessed for all these years I've been in it. But there are things happening right now that I need to be a part of. There are things happening that are real, that I am going to have to go deal with. And unfortunately, when there's a choice between wrestling and family, family wins every time. Now, as the year goes on, I'm going to get in as much as I can because I'm savoring every moment. But when it's done, it's done. In June, I'm 55. I'm too old for this shit anyway. So, you know, some people will say, man, he did some good work while he was there, and that's great. And some people will say, thank God he's gone because he was terrible, and that's fine too. Doesn't bother me at all. I've had a great ride. I've had a great run. This has been a great show. I have been blessed with the greatest co-hosts that I could ever ask for. The darn near the inventor of roller derby, one of the most respected roller derby players in history, one of the greatest manager wrestlers of one of the most brilliant factions. And I've gotten to be your friends as we've done this. And even when I'm done, you'll still be my friends. And I can't ask for any more than that. Rion has afforded me more opportunities than I've ever dreamed of having. So I know who I owe and I know who to thank. But there comes a time when when you make that decision. Red, when you hung up your boots to go on sabbatical, you know, it was a sabbatical. I'm not playing around. My life would have to shift on a 180-degree axis. Things would have to change unbelievably for me to be able to continue to do this. It's not going to happen. I'm a realist. I could work forever. I mean, I've reached out to the promotions that I'm leaving, and they've said, you know, you can go away for a while, but you'll always have a chair on commentary. It means a lot to me because these are not your average ordinary promotions. I mean, CSW, RPW, NWA, Wrestle League, Rocket Pro. I mean, Frontline Pro. These are places where commentators would love to work, and they're going to get far better commentators than me. But I have been blessed and I have been lucky, and I'll never forget those that gave me the opportunity. So yes, I keep saying it's the final season. Yes, I keep saying this is my last year. And right now, unless something changes unbelievably, I can't go back. I just won't be able to. But I'm okay with it. It's been a great run. I have no regrets. It's going to be a great year. I'm going to stop and smell the roses everywhere I go. Every time I make that 4.5-hour drive to Frontline Pro, I'm not going to be like, fuck, I'm still not there yet. I'm going to be like, I'm going to watch the scenery as I go, because once I'm done, I'm done. That drive won't ever happen again. Same thing with Rocket. Same thing with Chicago Style. And, you know, these promotions are going to be, they're going to get in. There are plenty of commentators that are going to do great work. So, you know, in the end, those places are going to get better than ever. And I'm going to be sad that day in December when it's over. But God, so many memories, so many great things. Red, you and I have gone so many places and so many shenanigans. You know, Cactus, you know, with the roller derby. I think that might be the only thing that I continue to do because it's 2 minutes from my house. If the knockouts will let me continue to work, you know, when all is
we will.
when
Don't
all
be
is
silly.
when all is said and done, because it's so close and convenient, you know, I can dip for a couple hours, you know, once a month. And if something goes down, I can still be back home in 2 minutes to deal with any situation. So, you know, when 2026 happens, I think the knockouts will be my only creative outlet. And if they're annoyed by me now, wait till they're my only creative outlet. I almost feel bad for them because I'm going to be so vested in that because it'll be all I have that they're going to be like, dude, get the fuck out of here. This is wrong. You're an old man, but that's okay. We'll ride the bus as long as it'll let us ride. How was the holidays, Cactus, as an engaged woman?
It was
You
the
said
same
yes
as
to the
any
dress.
other holiday.
You said yes to the dress.
I did, yes.
Talk about that.
I can't give away too much. I'll have to show you guys the dress in the group chat. I went to the same. I'm giving you guys all the tea. I went to the same place where I got my first wedding dress for my aborted marriage. So I got the dress from Eva's Bridal in Orland, which was originally in Oak Lawn. And a week after I bought my first wedding dress, Eva's burned down, which should have been my first sign that I was making a mistake. So far, Eva's in Orland has not burned down, so I'm taking that as a good sign.
That's positive.
But I got my dress. I'll send it in the chat right now, actually. Definitely went away from what I was thinking I was going to do. I typically go for form-fitting, never really been into the ball gown thing. Here we go. Sent.
All right, there it is. Let's take a look. I'm taking my glasses off so I can see it so it doesn't look
Don't give anything away.
I won't. Oh my. Wow, that is absolutely stunning. Andrew is a lucky man. You are going to be a radiant bride, to be sure. Congratulations. I'm going to say congratulations, Rachel, because I'm really happy that this is going this direction. I'm happy for you. I'm happy for Handy. I'm really happy for Hazel. You guys work so well together, even though, the patients are tried every now and again. You can get through that. Everybody can get through that. And I have the highest of hopes, and I have the most love for that day when you guys say your I do's. I think it's going to be special, and I think it'll be something we all remember for a long, long time.
I'm definitely going to make sure of that.
You deserve the happiness. You've gone through hell, physically, mentally, health-wise, to get to a point in life where you might be able to stop for a few minutes and actually smell your roses. And before the year is over, we're gonna do another Cactus Rack special.
Where
we focus on you.
Will it be Cactus Rack, the Bachelorette episode?
I don't know if it's I don't think we're trying to hook you up at this point.
No, like a bachelorette party.
Oh yeah, we'll bring everybody. You'll text me a list of people and I'll get them all on. Although now I'm on Discord, so we can talk about this in the chat.
We can, yes.
I don't understand Discord. There's a lot.
I don't either, so I just use it as sparingly as possible.
Although on Discord, when I said I would be, I would like to have some physical altercations, way too many people stood up and said, "Can I do it?"
Yeah.
So I mean, that's fun. It's exciting and it's appreciated. I guess if you want to beat me up, you must like having me around. So I'll take that.
Well, just for next season, just so you know, rumor has it that Russian Blue was killed on assignment.
Oh, geez.
So
are we going full on Cactus? Or are we going on?
No, you'll have to wait and see.
Oh, geez. Character change. There's the thing. And for those of you, when it comes to roller derby, you should check out, their Facebook page, check out their TikTok. They make wonderful promotional videos that I don't think enough people see. Marley is really splendid at the work she does when it comes to these. These are every bit as good, if not better, than a lot of the promos that I see coming from the boys. So, everything about the knockouts right now is at a fever pitch. It was a great season in 2024. I wish I could have been there more, but I'm very excited to be a part of 2025 and hopefully beyond. Like I said, there aren't going to be many places I can work in the near future, but I'm proud to have a spot, on that microphone because there's a lot of appreciation in that building, and I call it the Knockout Dome for a reason. It's a place where great memories are made. So Cactus, congratulations on your engagement. You know, we didn't get to touch on it as much as we like to in the shows ending the year, but you know,
That's okay.
we're so happy for you.
Thank you. I just want to warn you guys now that there are gonna be 2 weddings. So
Well,
there will be a Vegas wedding, and there will be a more traditional wedding. So
I don't know if
get ready. And you guys are coming to my bachelorette party,
oh boy,
whether you want to or not.
I don't know. My if I tell Mrs. that, hey, I'm going to go to this bad, she'll be like, I will kill you myself. So
She can come too.
I'll invite her. God, why not? Why not? She needs to get out more. I wish she'd come out and see some of the spectacles that I get to see on a regular basis. She doesn't like it as far as she knows, but you know, getting there and experiencing it inside the circle, you know, changes a lot of opinions. I've heard that from many people. So God only knows what'll happen at a Chicago knockout inspired bachelorette party. I can just imagine. Rhett, how about those shenanigans? We all remember the After Dark show. We all remember that.
Yeah, but just remember that this is about me, so there's going to be a lot of food involved.
Well, the fact that it's about you, you're one of the most dangerous knockouts. So danger is your middle name. So I imagine the risks and the rewards for this event are going to be hand in hand.
Yeah, speaking of danger, do you guys want to hear what I did this weekend?
Of course I do. By the way, love the look, the New Year's look with the champagne glasses and
Thank you. I borrowed those from a stranger for the photo. I was so enamored with them. They let me borrow them to use in the photo booth.
The fine people that want to help you.
I've tried finding them on eBay and I cannot. So if anyone comes across these in an antique store or a thrift store, I will pay every dollar for them. As I've mentioned, did not originally start playing roller derby. CKO did not exist when I started playing roller derby. I did not start playing this rule set. I started playing the rule set that's more commonly seen and what people probably think of when you say roller derby. And when COVID happened, like right before COVID, my league, so I call it WFTDA, Women's Flat Track Derby Association, my WFTDA team folded because the rink we were using flooded. And I'm not going to name names, but Markham City Council refused to release the insurance money to fix it. But, you know, Disney has actually been shooting a TV show there, and they do use local skaters, and Homewood Skate Shop, they have like a backdrop that they made with like heeled skates and stuff. So, I mean, you know, good. It's introducing roller derby to a younger crowd on Disney. But there was really nowhere else for the team to go. So the team just shuttered. And then COVID happened. I had originally transferred to a team right over the border in Indiana, but, you know, COVID happened. My dad died. And so I just took a huge break. And when I went back to CKO because the schedule was more forgiving. And so I have not played WFTDA in 5.5 years. And on Sunday morning, 9:15 a.m., I played my first WFTDA game since July of 2019. And not only with WFTDA, but it's like a mashup with the men's roller derby league, the Chicago Bruise Brothers. So it was like a co-ed game. It was very physically intense. I got the shit knocked out of me. It is very hard to find someone who can knock me down, and I got knocked down a few times. It hurts a lot less getting knocked down when you're not going at speed. I will say that. I got up much faster on Sunday morning than I do when I get hit at CKO and get knocked down.
Well, you've gotten into fine fighting shape. So, you know, I got to believe that getting up a little easier now is a little bit easier because you're working hard to make that big comeback.
Yeah, I'm trying. I'm not quite there, but I'm trying. Wait,
Oh.
It looks like Red found the glasses.
That's what I do,
Is
baby.
that what it was? I couldn't see it.
All right, I'm gonna order them. I'm ordering us all a pair.
Now we'll all wear them to your bachelorette party.
Yeah, that's the plan. Thank you, Red.
That's what I do.
Thank you. So it's a completely different style. It is can just imagine for a second, if you can, me playing this game. I have no makeup on. I don't have my hair done. I'm not wearing a costume. I am wearing a giant oversized jersey and some Kill Crew shorts. And I'm just out there
Wow.
fighting for no makeup, nothing, just fighting for my life. It was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun to do something different and to not have the pressures of image on me, which has been an issue for me in Derby and when I was training to wrestle and stuff. They're both very superficial. I don't mean superficial, but it's all about performance and appearance, and the pressure can be a lot, especially for someone who has like body dysmorphia like I do. So getting to go and play and just play was so much fun. I was getting knocked down and people are like, "Are you okay?" And I'm like, thumbs up. I'm like, "I'm great." Like, I'm having fun. This is fine. I'm like bouncing right. I mean, it takes me a second because I have that bulging disc in my back. So when I stand up, I kind of look like a toddler who's learning to walk because I can't bend, squat down in that stance like other people. So I kind of have to like work myself into a downward dog and then stand up. But I was getting
style and grace.
Yes, you know me. But I was getting right back up. I was getting out there. I did hold back somebody. I held back a couple people. I mean, obviously they still probably got through, but I was able to hold a couple people. I can't remember the rule set, which is the problem. I'm not taking a lot of risks right now because a lot of what I can do at CKO I cannot do in WFTDA, and some of the things I can do in WFTDA I cannot do in CKO. So
it's like they're two different havens for you to express yourself in different ways. And I think that's great because you get to experience everything you love in different ways. And I think that's a great creative outlet. That's why I work so many different places, because each place offers a bit of a different experience. And I feel like I do different things that, general manager in one place, mouthpiece lead commentator, there are many facets, and it's just really cool to be able to do different things different places. So I totally get that resonates with me huge.
Yeah, you'll have to get up at the butt crack of dawn one of these Sundays and come see.
Hey, I get up at the butt crack of dawn just about every day. So my vacation for the year is over. I don't get to take time off again until December of next year. So
Jesus.
So I'm up early. It's a habit. I can't get out of it. But I'm glad that you had a good holiday season. I'm glad that you're doing well. And I'm looking forward to our time together in 2025. It means that much to me. Red, before we go, we ought to break down the Rocket Pro card. I know you were having tummy issues there, Cactus. Do you want to tap or do you want to?
Yeah, why don't you tell everybody about my tummy issues? I'm gonna tap. I'm gonna tap.
Hey, I didn't say you were having morning sickness or anything.
Ew, don't put that on me.
He said it, I didn't.
Yeah, no, Red, you are always a pure and innocent angel.
Now, see, I take exception there.
All right, I'm tapping. I love you both.
Bye, girl. Bye.
Bye, girl. Bye.
Bye, girl. Bye.
I'll talk to you later.
That is our favorite knockout track.
We
We love having her on every week, and we'll do it again next week as well. Red, let's break down this resolution card. Let's start with the main. The White Phenom is a name we both know well, and it's a name we never thought we'd have to use for more ridiculous purposes than right now. So we have the sun and the air, the megalomaniacal asshat known as Maximus Orion in his white virgin clothing, because I'm pretty sure he's never been with a woman. So the white is twofold, but he'll still be able to marry Pyrrha, which is lovely. He is taking on his mother, my tag team partner, Shelly, in a winner gets ownership situation. Talk to me about that, Red. What are your thoughts?
Is that I wish you would have saved that one for last.
No, I want to hit that because I don't like to talk about Maximus Orion.
Well, and I get that Um, but here's why. Um, we saw shit break down that we never thought we would see. Um, Maximus joining the Undeniables.
So dumb.
Then um, for him to then talk shit and then play I don't know what's the word, like it's almost like a kid on December 25th when they opened up their gifts and they had a bunch of wrestling figures and a ring. And that's how Maximus started to treat this company. Like, these are it's mine. Like, again, like he's like a little kid. Mine, it's mine, it's mine, it's mine.
He's a petulant child.
So when his mother had enough, mind you, I said his mother, she smacked the dog shit out of him.
And there was plenty of dog shit in him because he eats in the dog bowl. We know this.
Well, we hadn't even got to that part yet.
Just saying, it's there.
No. And I don't know if you saw, I'm sure you saw it. After he realized that his Thanksgiving dinner was in the dog dish, he aired out some of their dirty laundry.
He's a pile of shit.
And that's one thing you don't do. Like, I was raised, what happens in this house stays in this house.
Right.
So now you're putting it out there for the whole world to see. And I can just imagine the Shelleys. Can you imagine family members seeing this? And now they're getting phone calls, they're getting texts about what the fuck is going on. I'm sure they the holidays were rough in the sense that whatever old wounds had closed, now they're being reopened. You know what I'm saying?
I know
Because
what you're
they're
saying.
private. Those are private things. So I think Shelley did what she felt she needed to do. And her and Bill had a conversation and they gave Nuke controlling power.
You said Nuke, and I want to just interject right there. This is a message to Nuke. I know that this was a stretch, what we did here tonight with the Freebirds. And I know it violated a lot of the sanctity of Rocket Pro and the rules that were instituted. And for that, I do apologize. But I hope now that you've heard it, you understand why we had to do it. And I didn't do it to be belligerent and adversarial when it comes to Rocket Pro. I did it for the better good of this company, because when stuff like that happens, you need to weed out the bullshit. So hopefully Nuke got a good eyeful tonight, got a good earful tonight, and he's one of the smartest people in this business. So he will know why we did this, why we needed to do it, and in the end, it's going to be a good thing. But when it comes to Shelley C. Red, she's our friend.
Yes.
When it comes to Shelley C. Red, she is his mother. You don't disrespect your mother ever. When my kids get out of pocket, when it comes to my wife, they will tell you that I explode in very angry and aggressive ways, because I will not have their mother, my wife, disrespected. Period. And that goes for anybody. And that's just the reality of who I am and the way life is. So to watch him do what he did to his mother, having lost my mother last year, I'm going to tell you this, boy, there's going to be a lot of regret you are going to have in your life based on your actions today, and you can't take it back. And this time that you guys are on a war and you guys are not on each other's side, it can be taken from you like that. She's your mother. You're an asshole. You're an idiot, and you should be ashamed of yourself. And I think your dad is going to give you the whooping you deserve at some point. But if your dad doesn't do it, I'm going to treat you like my kid. Don't disrespect your mom, because not only is your mom, but she's my tag team partner. Disrespect her, and I'm coming for you. And that's not wrestling. That's not work. That's not anything other than me telling you, Will, that if you mess with your mother, I'm coming for you. Now, whether or not you're better than me, greater than me, wrestler than me, this, that, the other thing, you're not bigger than me. Maybe you outrun me. Maybe you don't. Take your chance. You mess with your mom, I'm coming for you. Red, what do you see this match happening? You can say it. We all know what you're going to say.
Shenanigans.
Shenanigans. The undeniable.
And I mean, but the beautiful part is, and I don't know if anybody has thought about this, but there are more of us than it is of them. And I have no problem with leaving commentary and whooping anybody's ass if this shit starts to go south.
Travis will love this because he'll love to talk about this.
Oh, and I'm sure, because I can see it now that there's a full fucking brawl. Me and you have left commentary, and he's alone. So God only knows what he'll fucking say.
God only knows. But I'll tell you right now, Travis, if you're watching, I'm prepared to die on that hill. Now, you say I get my nose in the business, I don't belong, I'm not a wrestler, I'm not this, I'm not that. This transcends all of it. And I will die on that hill.
And
Go
I'm
ahead.
like you in the sense, so everybody, well, a lot of people know yesterday was my mother's 90th birthday.
Mama Red, 90 strong.
So I was too busy in the moment just trying to make sure everything happened, and everybody reached out, and the grandkids and great grands were here, and family were here. And it wasn't until today what I could really appreciate. I took her to the doctor before we, of course, before tonight. And as we're sitting there, and she's sitting in her chair, I'm sitting on my chair, and I'm playing the game. And the receptionist uh, says something, and I guess she looks at her paperwork and realizes yesterday was her birthday. So she yells happy birthday. Um, and I have to tell my mother, like, she's hard of hearing. So I have to tell her, hey, they're telling you happy birthday. So there's a guy next to me, and he tells her happy birthday. And then he looks at me and he says, how old is she? And I said, yesterday she turned 90. And he started to cry and said, wow, that's such a blessing. And I looked over at her, and I'm glad she can't hear this because then she wouldn't let it die. But she's smiling. He's crying. And I'm just in the moment of thankfulness that is as much as everything that has transpired the past few years. She's still right here. She's still upstairs, walking around right now. I don't know what she's doing. So, like you said, this is your mother. I laughed earlier as you were talking about your kids. Because I watched the video. It's somewhere in the interweb where a son had pushed his mother. He came in late. He had pushed her because he didn't feel like explaining his reasonings for coming in. And
That'd be the
dad was away on business. But dad comes home and dad has on a suit. Dad immediately starts taking off his suit. And under his suit, he has on a t-shirt and some shorts. And he puts on his gym shoes. And he hands his son a pair of boxing gloves and says, "We're just going to go outside. You're just going to show me how you pushed your mother." The video comes back. He has mollywopped his son. Beat this boy within the inch of his life, not with a belt, not with a stick, with these. Because he told him, before she was your mother, she was my wife. She will be my wife. And you will never disrespect my wife.
100%.
So, understand, I get it. Bill, if you feel you can't put your hands on your son, that is okay. I get it. But I'm here to tell you, nobody has been here for the past few years for me, especially this past year, like Shelly.
100%.
So if I feel I gotta jump the fuck over the table, I don't give a fuck about the microphones. I don't give a fuck about the soundboard. My job is help Shelly. And I'm like Steve. If I lose my job, I lose my job.
I'll die
But
on that hill, man. I'll die on that. Maybe we'll die together on that hill.
hey,
But no way this will stand. Let's move on real quick so we can get out of here tonight. Speaking of petulant children, contract signing between Shaq Jordan and Gunner Brave being handled by general manager asshat Damien Saint. Shaq ought to be ashamed of himself. That boy makes you feel great sometimes and then pisses you off to the point of madness. He and I were going back and forth on social media recently, and he's like, "Steve, why you have so much hate for me? Because you don't respect the people you should respect." I know Gunner Brave is an unconventional superstar, but he carried the flag of Rocket Pro for the longest time. They call him the King of the North. He has been responsible for some of the greatest moments in Rocket Pro Wrestling history. And to do what you're doing to a man that deserves your respect in what would be a great match just because, and you're wearing his coat and you're cursing his name. And now
you stole his gear.
Stole his gear, and now you're going after me on social media for being rude about it. So I proposed to him, why don't we have a sit down one-on-one, you and I? Let me interview you. Let me ask you questions. Let me hold the mirror to your nose so you get a look in the mirror at just what you're doing at a place that has embraced you and wanted to love you. And now those fans want your blood because you have turned your back on them. So I said, let's have an interview. Let's sit down, you and I, and let's talk about your problems. Let's ask some questions and see if you can honestly answer them. Now, he never got back to me because, when you're a bully and a coward, you don't
Can't be
want
shocked.
someone to hold the mirror to your face. But anyway, we're not going to get the match this month, but that match is coming. But my beef is Shaq Jordan has disgraced Rocket Pro Wrestling, and he is accountable for the nonsense that's happening as the undeniable is. And he needs to be held accountable. We were talking about the Freebirds and accountability. They held themselves accountable. Shaq blames everybody for everything and has no accountability himself. Well, I'll sit down with you in that ring. I'll sit down with you in the parking lot. I'll sit down with you in the back. Let's have somebody with their phone tape us talking, and I'll show you accountability. I'll make you understand. But people like that, they don't want it. But Gunner Brave is going to he's going to sign his contract. He is going to face him at some point down the road. And, that'll be a match that people will talk about for a long time. What do you say, Red? Am I wrong?
No. I started to lose respect, and I think I really did after last month. I mean, here's my thing. I'm sure Gunner really proved the point for everybody. He didn't need his fucking gear.
Nope.
Like, does that make you, like, if you really thought, and I'm gonna be honest, that it's his gear that gives him his power, his strength?
I wonder if Shaq Jordan's going to join Youth Gone Wild, because apparently he likes to steal people's shit too.
I guess so. So I don't know what Shaq is thinking. So I'm sure this is just the contract signed for a match. Whenever this match takes place. But and I mean, the bad part is loser leaves, but I'm gonna call it now, and I'm gonna say Shaq leaves forever. Um, because that type of bullshit we just don't need. We don't need that. We've always had a good locker room at Rocket Pro. So we don't need somebody now becoming an asshat. So
Yep. He's a Shogun wannabe anyway, so let him burn is what I say. Joey Roth in a competition against Damian Gray with a man that has no name. Maybe we'll just call him Prince. Can we call him Prince? Kevin Cade, John Bowman, Prince. I mean, Prince is the only man in history that's had more identities than this guy. So it's the former idols against the innovator of the idols. And I've watched Joey Roth go through a metamorphosis. And my impression is that this whole time that I have been warring with this man, and we've bled together, we've fought, we've sweat, we've beat each other silly in the name of, who's going to go, right? I'm starting to think now that maybe Joey Roth wasn't the problem. Maybe it was Roxy Hart, the wicked hooker of the West, as they call her. Because Joey Roth has helped a lot of people. He's accountability. That's where we want, right? That's the word of 2025. Joey has been accountable the last few months. He has asked for forgiveness. Not many have forgiven, but I don't know. I'm starting to reconsider it. And there's nobody that has had hate for a human like I have for Joey Roth. He made my life miserable for a calendar year. He continued to make it miserable when they took those belts back with the help of Professor Blackburn. But everybody deserves a second chance, and maybe Joey Roth, given a second chance, is just what Rocket Pro needs. I'm not all believing it because I know who he is and I know what he can do. But when you remove an unsavory element from your life and that control is gone, sometimes it's the change in the air that you need to do good. So we'll see what happens. And, Damian Gray, as much as I don't like him, he's one of the best people lacing up boots these days. That boy can go. So Joey's got his hands full. Plus, Gray's got a partner, Prince. So I don't know. Hopefully Joey will not be singing "I Would Die for You."
I hate to say that this will be, I almost see this being the lamb led to the slaughter. I don't know, and I nowhere am I comparing him to my Lord and Savior. But I just see him being crucified in the sense that the numbers game of I'm gonna call it, you call him Prince, I'm gonna call him Symbol. Um and
I think Joey's
great.
prepared to die on that hill, Red.
And he might be. And then I mean, where will Roxy be? That's the question. Again, I'm all about the questions that nobody is asking. Roxy, will she stay out of it? Will she be there? Will she not be there? So
I hear she's filming Wicked too. She's playing a mushroom.
so
She's gonna win the Golden Globe for best organic vegetable, which
hey
is
man,
lovely. I mean, if that's the way you go.
let go of Wicked, man. I'm down that rabbit hole. I went and saw it. So
No,
I,
Red.
I'm down that
That was
rabbit hole.
almost the second movie I've ever walked out of.
I loved it.
Oh, you and I are on opposite. We ought to have a podcast just
Love-
debating this because I will fight you.
I loved it.
I'm gonna make you put those. I'm gonna make you put those boots back on. And
I loved
I'll
it
show you about hanging out with a wizard.
because it explains so much that the 19th, what is it, 65, 66 version, we never thought about as kids. So we never thought about the pre-story to all of
Pretty
what
sure it
took
didn't happen
place.
that way, Red. Pretty sure
Uh,
evil's just evil.
No, not always.
The bitch rode a bicycle in a twister, Red.
No, not really.
So is Dorothy still passed out of the bed because she dreamt it all, or maybe she's in a coma?
That part, maybe that'll be part 3. Right now, we know, but this explained a lot. And
It
I
explained that
love.
there should be less music in a musical.
Well, I mean, and I get it.
I don't get it.
I'm not a fan of.
And what was the
but you
dude?
got-
What was the
but-
boyfriend about?
if
That
you-
was the most extraneous character I've ever seen in my life.
So-
He had shit to do.
So can I break it down for you?
Don't break it down. I don't want it broken
Can
down.
Can I give you a spoiler?
I don't want a spoiler.
That's the Tin Man.
Of course it is. Of course it is. Why wouldn't it be? So she's gonna rip out his heart.
All
She's gonna-
the characters from the original movie were in the movie if you paid attention.
I didn't pay enough attention because I was horrified by what I was watching.
Everybody.
Those poor fucking monkeys, man. Those poor monkeys deserve better than they got.
And they did, but what happened to we'll just call it the Wicked Witch because I can't pronounce her name. But what happened to her? She was forced. I mean, but everything from the movie that we grew up as children seeing was explained in one. I can't wait to see because I never saw the stage play, and God knows if I ever get to see if
That
it
was
comes
the only
back.
part of the fucking movie that I liked was Kristen Chenoweth and Idira, them showing up in the middle of it as whatever they were.
Trust me, I'm down that rabbit hole now.
Get the fuck. Okay, speaking of rabbit holes, we have a match between Aztec Ammunition and the German
The Suburban
German
German.
German. This is like I think chapter I mean, they're turning into a saga. They're like the Star Wars saga. It's light versus dark.
Yeah, but Jesus from Timu, um,
Hey,
I told
can I tell you something about Jesus? Jesus was in Wrestle League. I saw him.
I like that Jesus better than this
Brad, I
Jesus.
saw Jesus. You want to know about Jesus? He wears Fruit of the Looms.
I don't want to know what he
He
wears.
might have got crucified, but he was not that his shit wasn't hanging out. He was wearing the
But
tighties too.
oh well, as long as everything was tucked in.
Hallelujah. Praise the Lord.
Um, I've never been crazy about him. He's more of an asshat than anybody, because he realized he couldn't beat uh Von Jaeger one-on-one. So he joins, of course, the Undespicables, and of course, then he gets the title. Um, I believe some kind of way Von Jaeger has learned from this. He is always physically fit, physically ready. I think he is going to some kind of way, unless like all of Undeniable run out and cause interference. I don't care if it's gray. I don't care if it's the ass hat on the cane. They really don't need a fucking cane, because we know his ass ain't shit wrong with him, except for if air swings, he fucking gets knocked down. Um, so I'm picking Von Jaeger to get his title back.
I think Von Jaeger gets his title back too. Should we talk about Aaron Stone? Because Aaron Stone gets a little ticked off when I don't talk about him. So he's got a match against Aaron Schultz. To me, this is a must-win match for the Dreambreaker, because
Okay.
if the losing streak continues, he is essentially the Chicago Bears of Rocket Pro Wrestling.
Ooh, that sucks.
Misses field goals, misses completions, bad clock management. It's all there. I'm sorry, Aaron Stone. I love you more than I love most people in this business, but I got to call it like I see it. Your game has been off for a while. And he was out there mean mugging me that whole show. And
I
that's
saw.
okay. You can mean mug me all you want to. I'm holding that glass to your face saying, look what you've become. You want me to talk about you? Do something for me to talk about. A win here and a championship victory to become what is it called? The high why can't I think of the word?
Zero gravity.
The zero gravity. I almost said high velocity. Wasn't that a bad WWE show back in the day?
Yes.
The zero gravity title. God rest the souls of Brubaker and CJ Esparza. And they're not even dead. They're just not around. The zero gravity title. Schultz has done the zero gravity title defenses virtually without the help of the Undeniable. So Schultz is on an incredible run, and he's showcasing that he's a very talented wrestler. So I hope Damien Saint's chip on his shoulder allows him to focus on what's going on, because if he's not 100% focused and ready to fight, Eric Schultz is going to eat him alive. And then his season will hopefully he'll be better in the draft next year.
I agree, but only to the extent Aaron Stone is now consumed himself with so much bullshit that his eye is off the prize. And I think he's going to go into this on Saturday. And I think he's going to be consumed with uh, the end result, and not pay attention to what he needs to do when he needs to do it. And he's going to cost himself a title.
I agree with all of it, but I actually think that this might be the match where Aaron Stone breaks the streak and kicks that field goal with zero time on the clock to get himself off the schneid. So
I'm calling double doink.
I'm going with being the Bears fan that I am, He can be as bad as the Bears, but I still love him, and I still think he's a hell of an athlete. And I'm hoping this is the game that gets him off the schneid. Another
You know
match
how I feel about the Bears.
easy now. Hey, in 2025, we're 1-0 and undefeated against the Packers. So that's a fact. Can't dispute that. It's 100% true. It's
I'm gonna say
100%
one
true.
word.
Don't say a word.
I'm gonna say you like I've been saying to everybody since Monday. Playoffs.
Oh no, you're right. Playoffs. It's great. You know, they're going to go to Philadelphia and they're going to lose by 40. Saquon Barkley is going to have 500 rushing yards.
We'll see.
DeAndre Swift was running all over him, and DeAndre Swift can't run over anybody.
I'm not even picking that game or whatever. I'm just saying.
Tell Ray to get over himself. They're going to die on that hill.
Hey, but they're on that hill.
They can be on that hill. They're going to get knocked off that hill, and then
the Bears didn't even make it out the goddamn Humvee.
hey, what if they end up undefeated in 25?
You want to put some money on that?
Oh no, absolutely not.
I thought so.
I can't afford to bet you, Red. I got to pay your fucking entry fee in fantasy football every fucking year.
Well, you don't have to pay it this year. I didn't win any money, so.
Yeah, that's true. Another match happening at Resolution this Saturday is Corey McHenry, the moneymaker, taking on Disco Ray. What say you about that matchup? That's a pretty good one.
So earlier, right before you sent in the log information, I seen Disco Ray's little pro. And I mean, we all love Disco Ray. We all love the, Cash Money is coming to prove himself. And he's already shown that he's a valuable asset to any company.
No doubt about it. So you got your money on the money maker, right?
Yeah.
Both of them are products of the Wrestle League Dojo, so they are both well trained and will put on a hell of a match. And Disco Ray just won his first title at Wrestle League, so he is operating on a different level right now. So if Corey McHenry takes his eyes off the prize for a minute, he's going to see disco balls in his eyes. I'm picking Disco Ray.
And I'm picking Cash Money, baby.
The legacy of Sam Eli is rocketing through the Illinois, Wisconsin wastelands. Eli making his Rocket Pro. Well, not his debut, but he's in a match this month at Rocket Pro against Ryan Matthews of the Undeniable. I have seen Sam Eli do big things at CSW. I have seen Sam Eli do big things at Frontline Pro. I have seen Sam Eli at NWA. It seems like everywhere I go, there is Sam Eli. And those are some pretty solid promotions. So Ryan Matthews is going to need the help of the Undeniable because right now he is not ready for the locomotive that's coming down those tracks. 25 is the year of Eli. And Ryan Matthews might be that first victim. I'm going with Sam. What say you? Don't say the word. Don't say it. I don't want to hear it.
Shenanigans.
God damn it.
So, but I love Sam Eli. And I want him to win. And I think he is going to control most of this match. But I think as we get down to the nitty-gritty, they're going to realize that Matthews has bitten off more than he can chew. And, here comes the gimp, waving everybody down, like, come on now. So
you're picking Ryan because of shenanigans, yeah?
Yeah. I mean, let's be honest, that's what they do.
That's what they do. You're not wrong. I saved the best for last because he was one of the biggest detractors of us doing this show tonight, which I think we started 2025 quite well. I think we made our point. I think we did great journalism, and I think Tristan and Buddy were fantastic guests. So that brings us to the title in which Machine of the Three Rings, or the group formerly known as the Three Rings, takes on Steve Michaels. So you've got the Ringmaster and all the history of the rings. And obviously we know the Sinister is no longer a member of the Three Rings, but Grin is. And we haven't heard anything about where Grin's whereabouts is going to be on Saturday. But
who the fuck cares?
Do you think the Undeniable has the balls to go up against the Three Rings? because that might you take on the 3 rings and maybe you get one over them this Saturday, but in the future the three rings don't play.
So this will probably be the only time you ever hear me say this. Steve Michaels. Why? As much as I love and respect Machine, what Ringmaster did to Sinister was deplorable last month. And this should be a time where they need to realize they don't have the numbers game in their corner. So even if Grin is there, it's 3 of them, right? Ringmaster, Machine, Grin, right?
Right?
It's like 982 and 54,000 of the undeniable, right? Like every time you fucking blink, it's another member of the undeniable.
I'm pretty sure Shaq Jordan's going to be a member of the undeniable.
So there's no way that Damien Saint is going to let this happen. No way. None whatsoever. So I personally, and I'm saying this personally, I want Steve Michaels to win. Not that he can't win on his own, because he has shown he can. But for my personal satisfaction, I want Machine, or more importantly, Ringmaster, to lose.
Red, that's a very thoughtful and insightful commentary on the situation at hand. I'm going to take you back to the quote from Luke Skywalker in The Last Jedi and say everything you just said is wrong. This is 3 Rings house. St. Joe's Park, the ringmaster, one of the architects. That man will have a plan because he's one of the best to ever do it. And there's nothing Damien Saint can think of that the ringmaster hasn't thought of 100 years ago. So Damien Saint wants to play chess against the ringmaster. That is a match Damien Saint loses every time. I think we might have a new champion. Steve Michaels has been great. He's taken the Rocket Pro title all over the place. He's been on TV. He's been in newspapers. He's been at OVW. You cannot argue the pedigree and success of this man. He's one of the best I've ever seen. But he's running with the wrong people. And when you put a crazy, psychotic megalomaniac up against the OG, crazy, homicidal megalomaniac, man, I don't like Saint's chances this time. Saint might bleed. Because he'll come out there at some point. He'll come out there and do some crazy, stupid-ass GM bullshit for his own purposes. And that's when the 3 Rings have him by the balls. This Saturday, January 11th, St. Joe's Park, doors at 4, showtime 5 o'clock. RPW presents Resolution, my last January show in Joliet, I believe. I'm going to sit there at commentary and I'm going to savor every moment. Every show we do in 2025, I'm going to sit there with a big dumbass smile on my face, thanking everybody for the chance to do what I have loved to do for 11 years. So come out to the park. It's going to be a great show. That's all I got for tonight, Red. We want to thank Tristan Hayze and Buddy Roberts Jr. We are glad we got to help them bring out the true story. We're glad we shined the light where it needed to be shined. I think Rocket Pro just gets stronger for everybody knowing what happened and why. And we go from here. And if I walk into Joliet and my name's not on the list, I'm going to go home knowing that I did the best I could to promote this show. And even if I'm not there, I'll watch it on YouTube. I can buy a ticket to the movie theater, right?
Yeah.
It can't keep me from buying a ticket if they fire me, right?
They can't.
So, like I said, Rocket Pro Wrestling, I meant no disrespect, but sometimes the truth has to come out. And tonight, I think we did a great job. Red, we're going to have a hell of a year. Hopefully, Rion will be back soon. And we love having Cactus. And, maybe we'll even get an appearance from time to time from Pac-Man. This is the Power Hour 2025 season premiere. It's in the books. And let me take a look at the calendar since I meant to do this a few minutes ago, but I got caught up in our conversation. Let's see what we're doing next week. Oh boy. Out of the frying pan into the fire, Red.
Meaning?
It is Crisis in Infinite Freaknet. We are all coming together. Freaknet Studios, all the podcasts, one night. How's Travis going to fuck it up? That's the only question. So next week we got JFW. We've got the fourth Mother Box. We're all coming. The Pac-Mans, the Turtles, the Travis T's, Tom, all the Mother Box. It's going to be fantastic. If nothing else, it's people that are entertaining to listen to all coming together. We'll have to see who's the one that doesn't get a word in edgewise. Is it going to be you, Red?
I'm just going to sit back and enjoy.
All right. Thanks for watching. Thanks to the Freebirds. I'm Steve. This is Red. For Rachel and Rion, we're the Power Hour. We will see you next week. Have a good night and don't miss Resolution on Saturday. We're out.